Oh, okay.
What's the exercise number? Because I heard you saying exercise 2, but I know that's not the right number.
If you look in the chat pod, it says exercise 1 and exercise 2. They're not sequentially. It's like the first one we're going to do and the second one we're going to get to.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Don't even worry about that, guys. Like, don't worry. I'll explain everything when we get to that. The first thing I need to do, though, is practice breakouts. It worked okay last semester. I want to make sure that I can still do this. So just hang tight for a second. Let's see. How many people do we got in here? 9. So let's do 3 breakout rooms. Sign automatically. All right, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to hop into breakout rooms. They're going to be randomly generated for you. Just pop in, say hi, stay in there. I want to check to see if everyone's in there. I'm just going to say, okay, check, 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 check. We're good. Then we're going to bounce out. I just want to make sure this works. So here we go. All right, guys, go ahead and join them. Good. Alan's in one. Chris, Sebastian, Yusra, Rachel. Good. All right, so cool. Just waiting on a few more people from breakout room 1. About 34 seconds, and then I'll explain why we did what we did. Right now, 3 more people. Cool. All right, great. So that worked. All right, so to kind of explain a little bit, we are going to be using breakout rooms. I don't use them very often. In fact, last semester was the first time I did it. And the reason that I did it and the reason that we're going to use it is your next ideation technique for project 3 is going to be what's called a 6-3-5. I might have got those numbers wrong, but it doesn't matter. What you need to know is we're going to be using breakout rooms. You're going to be broken into small groups, and you guys are going to be giving each other feedback. So as long as that worked, that's awesome. We'll talk more about that probably on Tuesday. So that will be coming. So make sure that when we do use the breakout rooms, you guys are there because you're going to be giving feedback in real time. You don't necessarily have to like show your screen or do audio, but you will want to be using, if nothing else, chat pod, because part of your participation for that ideation grade or previs grade is going to be the participation. So let's say that myself, John Doe, and Jane Doe are in there. John Doe gives me 3 pieces of feedback. Jane Doe doesn't say anything. I'm going to record all of that. I'm going to say that Darshanae said these suggestions, Chris said these suggestions, Val said these suggestions. And if Sarah and Isabella don't say anything, that won't get recorded and they will lose points. Again, I'll go over that. Just know that we are going to be breaking out in the near future. Okay, good. So that worked. Excellent. All right, what do we got next? So that was that. Do we need to go? Well, I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to do it. The link to submit is going to be in your assignments. We're on project 2. We're winding down here. Poster. This is the Google Drive folder that you need to link to, guys. So make sure that you put your process document and your final PSD layered. Those are the 2 documents that I need. So make sure that those go in here by 6 o'clock on Tuesday. I'll be pulling that folder at about 6:05. So anything that's not in there will be late. I'll still grade it, but you will be dinged the 10%. So get it in there early. That covers the link. I want to go over artboards again. About half the class got this wrong. I get it, but this is very easy. So let's go through it again. And then we're going to cover how to do mock-ups one more time, because this is part of your process. So let's start with artboards. What? Okay. Okay, so you're using 11 by 17s. So I'm going to go to File, New. Now it's up to you how you want these arranged. Some of your posters, probably all of your posters are vertical, totally fine. I'm going to create, well, I'll do vertical, that's fine. I'm going to make sure that artboards is selected. Doesn't have to be, but this saves a step in the long run. And 11 by 17. Create. Okay, so here is artboard 1. This artboard, if you want to, if it's easy for you, go ahead and name. This would be our mood board. With your artboard tool selected, it's underneath your move tool. Go to artboard tool, you can just hit the little plus icon here. It'll generate a new artboard. This is going to be before, during, and after, BDA. Both of those, remember you have 2 of those. Both of those will go on this artboard. The next artboard is going to be your sketches. The next artboard will be your 50% crit, which you guys turned in today with 50%. Your next artboard will be the mock-up. And your final artboard will be a flattened PDF. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artboards. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's real quick, let's dump some type on these so they look a little bit different. Go back to artboard 1. My type tool, make sure that I'm on the artboard. For you, you'll go to File, Place. So File, Place Embedded. Say that this is my mind map. Or that's my mood board. Last time I checked, white type on a white background is pretty hard to read, so let's change that color. Okay. Let's move on to our before, during, and after. File, place embedded. Okay. Go at BDA, before, during, and after. I think you get the drift of where the rest of these are going. Sketches, file, place embedded. See if I got anything else that I can desktop. These are my sketches. My 50%. That's not good. Mess that up. And where am I on the mock-up? I've got the mock-up here. So file, place embedded. Downloads. Okay. And then last but not least, the final. All right. Now, here's what people are getting wrong. A lot of people set this up correctly. You didn't export it correctly. So this is important. You need to do this. You're going to go to File, Export. I don't know what setting you guys were choosing. You might have exported as a PDF. You might have chose this. That's not what you want. You want artboards to PDF. That's important. Because what this is going to do is it's going to collapse all 5 or 6 of these into one single document. So I'll put it in my downloads. That's fine.
Wait,
okay.
can you show where again?
Sure.
Because I got that wrong.
File, export, artboards to PDF.
Okay.
Like, think about just the word artboards, several artboards to a PDF. It's not PDFs. It's not, it's just going to be one PDF. What some people did, and again, I don't know how you guys did it. I've seen it before, so it must be in here somewhere. What happens is you guys are giving me a PDF that's just one PDF that's like super long. It kind of works, but trust me, a client is not going to want that. A client's not going to want to zoom in, and you also don't get the separation between each artboard. So this is the way to do it. Make sure you choose artboards to PDF. From here, you can tell it where to go. So I'll go to my downloads. You put it wherever you want to. Name it. It's going to be your last name, underscore project2 underscore process. It's a multi-page document right here. And everything else should be okay. So let's choose run. This will take about a minute for it to kind of collapse everything down, but we'll wait. And then once this is done, we'll open it up and I'll show you like how it's supposed to look. Then after this, we'll go through again how to insert your file into the mockup. And then we'll start with a couple demos, and then we'll do the in-class exercises, the homework exercises. Then we'll take a break, maybe answer some questions, and then we'll come back and we'll do the 50% critique. And then we should be done for the night. I was getting to the point where my computer only had very little space left, and I was kind of a fool. I realized that I had a bunch of programs that I would never use. Some of them I don't even think were serviced anymore. So I dumped out a bunch of stuff and freed up like 30 or 40 gigs. So computer's doing a little bit better now. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. See my downloads. There it is, labeled correctly. Double click. As this is what I'm looking for. Let's zoom out a bit. It's one PDF that's got multiple pages. So I should just be able to jump from page to page to page. This is how, not just for this class, but professionally speaking, this is how you're going to want to submit your work. So make sure that you remember this. It's recorded. It'll be in the cloud. It was on the last recording too, so shouldn't be too difficult. Here's what you should do. Test it. Try it tonight. Just do what I did. Dump, 6 dummy images in there. Save it as process PSD to the cloud. And that way, when you have all your stuff really ready, you can just delete the old stuff out, put the new stuff in. Again, test it, see if it works on your side. If it does, it should be fine. I don't want people losing the easy points. If you lose stuff because you forgot the right resolution or the right size, or maybe it wasn't the most creative aspect to it, or the concept was a little bit shaky, that happens. It's very hard to get 25 out of 25. Something that you look at, it's like it's absolutely perfect. There's not one little nuance that could be changed. That's incredibly tough to get a 20. I hardly ever give out 25 out of 25. So don't feel bad. But you can still easily get an A in class or A on projects if you get the easy stuff, like just following directions, naming things correctly, make sure that there is a process, make sure there is a layered file and stuff like that. Like the technical aspect is the easiest 25 because it's literally just following directions. So test it, make sure it works. All right, let's talk about how to do your mock-up again. All right, I don't need this. Okay, so here is my mock-up. This is a smart object. Guys, these aren't going anywhere. You're going to be using a lot of these, not just for my class, but for all of your classes. And then moreover, more importantly, you'll be using this to showcase client work as well. So the way that this particular one works, and we talked about, you can find other mock-ups. That's absolutely fine. There's tons of them out there. We went through some of the free ones. When you open Adobe for the first time and you go to print or you go to art and illustration, there's tons of these mock-ups out there. You can Google poster mock-up free Photoshop, see what comes up. Some you do have to pay for, and I don't want you guys to have to pay for anything, so find the free one. But occasionally you'll find one that's so good or so unique or so specific that it might be worth the $3 or $4. If that's the case, I can't hold you back. If you want to buy something, more power to you. But I'm not requiring you guys to spend any more money than you have to. All right, so here's how it works. Most of these are labeled pretty well. This one says your design here, meaning that you double click. Now you don't double click on the word. That's just going to let you rename it. You don't double click off to the side. That's going to bring up your layer styles. You have to literally double click on the thumbnail. So you double click, brings you to this. All you got to do is place your image in here. So file, place embedded. Let's find something here. Let's do the squid. Right. Get it sized up, hit enter to apply. Now here's the important thing, you have to save it. Absolutely have to save it because you are inside of a PSB right now. See PSB. So file, save. You don't have to save as, just save. Then close it. And there's your mock-up. So make sure that your posters, once they're done, they go into either this mock-up or another mock-up that is similar. It's poster. Don't put it on a t-shirt. Don't put it on a record album. Don't put it on a tote bag. It needs to be on a poster mock-up. Everyone good on that?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, well, let's get to some other stuff. So, I want to talk briefly about Eric Johannsson. He is a Scandinavian, because I don't know if he's Finnish or Dutch or Swedish. I don't know exactly where he's from, but let's take a look at this. So this guy gave a TED talk a while back. It's really good. Let's see, let's move this up here. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm just going to jump around a little bit, but this is kind of his shtick. He uses Photoshop to do what he calls impossible photography. And if you see this image, I mean, already you get the idea of like, that didn't happen. There's, like that's just impossible. And most of you by now will know, well, that's Photoshop. But he does it in such a clever way. And he's got 4 criteria for really good composites. And I couldn't agree more with his 4 criteria. That's what I want to focus on. We'll watch like 2-3 minutes of this, but the link is there. I highly encourage you guys to watch this if you're getting into believable composites.
So I'm here to share my photography. Or
It's a little quiet.
because of course this is a photograph that you can't take with the camera. Yet my interest in photography started.
Yeah, if I jam my speakers, I don't think it's going to sound great. I'll turn it up. I guess really just look more for the images, or you could read the subtitles. I'll turn it up. I get a feeling that the audio is going to be kind of garbled, but
As I got my first digital camera at the age of 15. It mixed with my earlier passion for drawing, but it was a bit different because using the camera, the process was in the planning instead. And when you take a photograph with a camera, it's just the process ends when you press the trigger. So to me, it felt like photography was more about being at the right place at the right time. I felt like anyone could do that. So I wanted to create something different, something where the process starts when you press the trigger. Photos like this, construction going on along a busy road, but it has an unexpected twist. And despite that, it retains a level of realism.
so what he's saying here is when he's doing his composites, unlike a drawing, you have to start with the end in mind. Like a lot of times when we sketch or doodle or paint or sculpt, whatever, we just kind of do it, and the outcome is the outcome. And sometimes we have happy accidents, and sometimes we might have a plan, but things kind of shift around depending on the materials. When he's doing a composite, he has to have the end goal in mind in order to do something like this. And this is going to feed into his 4 criteria. Someone said it's kind of quiet, and you're probably right. Now that I was thinking about it, I probably should have shared. I don't know if it would have sounded better. Instead of me sharing my screen, maybe I should have shared the actual link to this, and we could have watched it. I don't know if it would have came out better on your speakers or not, but we'll keep trudging along.
Or photos like purple, but all with a common goal.
So like, these are some of the reasons I kind of got into Photoshop when I saw not his stuff per se, but we'll see some other artists. Almost kind of like, how did they do it? Like, I know that that's not a drawing. It's got to be photography, but I couldn't figure out. This is before I even knew what Photoshop was. I knew that something was going on. Like, are they using like scanners? Are they using, are they taking pictures of pictures and then cutting pictures up? And then I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And then when I found Photoshop and I kind of like started figuring out masking, I'm like, oh, duh. That's what it is. It's a program. They're taking photographs and they're somehow manipulating them. But it took me a little bit longer to figure out is, how do you achieve this level of believability? I know that water's not coming out of this canvas. I know this guy's not ironing himself, but to the passerby, it looks real. Like if I was to show it to my daughter, she might like, whoa, wow, how did they get that waterfall? Because it looks that good. It looks that believable. So I'm going to jump ahead where he talks about his like kind of 4 criteria here.
the colors? Is it something about the light? What creates the illusion? Sometimes the perspective is the illusion. But in the end, it comes down to how we interpret the world and how it can be realized on a two-dimensional surface. It's simple. I just see it as a puzzle of reality. The imaginable physical object. They can create something that now it can't. So with combining photographs, it's just really about combining different realities. So the things that make the photograph look realistic, I think it's the things that we don't even think about, the things all around us in our daily lives. But when combining photographs, this is really important to consider, because otherwise it just looks wrong somehow. So I would like to say that there are 3 simple rules to follow to achieve a realistic
Sorry, I thought there were 4. I guess it's 3.
result. As you can see, these images aren't really special, but combined they can create something like this. So the first rule is that
Anybody want to take a stab at what like one of the criteria would be to make a believable composite? Just out of curiosity, you can unmute yourself. I don't have the chat pod up, so I wouldn't be able to see it if you typed it in. Anybody got a guess? Or maybe you guys are getting into composites and you kind of figured out like this is wrong and it's because of blank.
The images need to be of good quality.
I don't think he says that, but that's definitely, I would consider that for sure. If there was a 4th, I would put that one in there. Yeah. Anybody else? You guys know all of them, I guarantee it. It's just you probably haven't really maybe thought about it, or might be just too embarrassed to shout something out. Anybody want to take a stab? I think he's going to get to number 1 right now. And these are in no particular order, by the way. It's not like they're sequential. All right, we'll see what Mr. Johannsonn has to say.
photos combined should have the same perspective.
Okay. Number 1, they should have the same perspective. A project that we do in Photoshop 1, and I kicked around the idea of doing it in this class, is what's called an animal hybrid. I don't know if you guys have ever done these things. It's where you take 2 or more animals and through Photoshop, you kind of merge them together. They look like this, or they could look like this. It's a fun project and it teaches you a lot about masking. So baboon on a bird, or a guinea pig on a lion, penguin into a whale. And some of these look downright horrific, like it's the stuff of nightmares. Like I could live the rest of my life and never see this creature roaming about. But there's more fails in this project than there are successes. And it's because, first and foremost, students don't pick 2 images that are in the same perspective. Like for this to work, that image of the dog needs to be in the same perspective as the image of the bird. If one shot is shot from below and the other one's at a profile, I don't care how good you are in Photoshop, they're not going to work. So having the 2 images at the same perspective is key.
Secondly, photos combined should have the same type of light.
The same type of light. Now, you can adjust light, and we have before. We've warmed things up, we can cool things off. We turned a green space into a brown space. Remember, we took green leaves and turned them more fall. Totally fine. What he's talking about is the light source needs to be falling at the same angle. So again, you've got a crocodile and a duck. You can combine those 2, but if the shadows on the crocodile are really hard and the light's coming from on top and the duck is just kind of ambient lit and there are no shadows, it's not going to look as good. You need to have 2 consistent light sources. And he does a good job of kind of breaking down his process here. He shot this road at the exact same angle, more or less, that he shot, I think that's him or a model, I don't know. He shot the same angle as this person under very similar light circumstance. The light is obviously far back that way. You can tell because the shadow is coming this way. The shadow on the guy is also backlit. So you have the same light source. So now we've got the same perspective under the same lighting conditions. Those two things paired together are going to make for a much more believable composite.
And these two images both fulfill these two requirements, shot at the same height and in the same type of light. The third one is about making it impossible to distinguish where the different images begin and end.
And this is Photoshop. It's really how you mask. Soft edge masks, so it gradually blends into one another, as opposed to just like a really hard edge, you know, no feathering to your brush, clear defined line. Kind of like what we did with the deer last class when we put the deer in the forest environment. Remember, we kind of like gently masked out his feet, so there wasn't that really hard defined edge. Gradually bleeding into one another, that makes it almost impossible, if not impossible, for the viewer to say, that's image one, that's image two, and that's the scene where they both came together. The more that you can kind of blur that boundary between the two, the more believable it becomes. So this link is out there. It's a good 6 minutes. So if you're into photography, if you like Photoshop, if you like composites, I strongly encourage you to watch it. It's good. And his photography is great too. Sorry about the audio. Okay, let's see where we're at. Yeah, so the animal composites, the animal hybrids, it's a really fun project. But being a more advanced, and especially more in like the digital illustration world, would it be of value? I think so, but we'll leave that more for like the junior designers. I had a cool idea to kind of piggyback on it where we would do the bestiary component to it, but maybe a different semester. Okay, where are we at here? Let's do a whiten teeth demo. This will, outside of our liquify tool, this will wrap up our restoration component. Then we'll talk a little bit about clipping masks. I got 2 demos if you guys want to follow along. These are not due, they're not worth points. I'll show you where they're at. So in our classroom, underneath demo files, we're using whiten teeth right here. So go ahead and download that. And that was at the top. Where is it? Clipping masks. These 2 files. Whiten teeth will take about 1 minute. Clipping masks about maybe 5 minutes. And then we'll move on to our in-class exercises, and then we'll take a break. So here we go. Whitening teeth. This is something that comes up a lot. So this one's actually been done for you by me. Before, after. I bet some people could probably already guess. Well, I guess you can see it. Anytime it comes to like a color correction like this, there's a pretty good chance we're talking hue saturation, and we are. So how was this achieved? Pretty simple. It's not too different than the red skin tutorial. Now, my teeth are not the whitest anymore. As much as I would love a pearly white smile, it's just probably not in the cards. So when I take photos, this is something that if I'm cheesing out, I'm going to be touching up a little bit. So here's what we do. We're going to select our background, and you guessed it, we're going to go to our adjustment layers, and we're going to choose hue saturation. Now, I don't think I need to ask, but if I was to say, what color do you think we're going to target? Red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, or purple? Hopefully you guys are probably thinking yellow, and you would be right. So up here in your presets, if I just updated Photoshop, so I know that somebody's interface didn't look like mine. I'm like, oh gosh, I should probably update. And I did. So this is what the new hue saturation looks like. It's not any different, guys. If you don't see these little colors here, it'll be in your drop down and you'll see yellow right here. So either way, make sure that you target yellow. This should look a little bit familiar from our red skin tutorial. Like we can target threshold. We've got the 2 corner posts and our threshold on the end. We don't even have to worry about that. Right now, it's just looking for yellow. So a super easy fix, folks. Take your saturation, pull it down. Now you don't want gray teeth. That looks worse than yellow teeth. Just pull them down and take some of that color out. And then take your lightness and push it up. Now, you can't go too far with this. Having bright fluorescent white teeth, that looks more unnatural than yellow teeth. So you don't want to like jam it all the way up, probably. You don't want to take the saturation all the way down. It depends on the condition of the teeth, you know, more yellow, more you got to take out. But I think this looks pretty good. We can go to before and after. Before, after. That's a nice trip to the dentist right there. Pretty fast, painless trip to the dentist. Problem is, you'll notice that the skin got a little bit kind of vampire-y because we've got yellow in our skin. I don't care who you are, we've got red and we've got yellow. We don't have a lot of blue, it's there a little bit. We've got a little bit of green, but red and yellow, that comprises almost, no, I'll take the almost out. It comprises all of our skin, unless you're a Venusian or a Martian, whatever they look like. Red and yellow is what humans are made out of. So we've gone a little bit too far with it. Easy fix. All we need to do is invert the mask, Control or Command I, and then get a soft edge brush and paint the stuff on that we want. So that's what I'll do. I'll Control or Command I on the layer mask. Make sure I'm on the layer mask. B for brush. I got a nice soft edge brush loaded in here. I might even bring down the opacity. It's at 45. We're going to bring it to like 80. Make it a little bit bigger by right bracketing. And I'm just going to paint in those areas with white. Da 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 da. Oh gosh, if only going to the dentist was this quick and painless. It's pretty good. I'll take one more pass over some of the parts I didn't get. I'm going to stay away from the lips. I don't want the lips. Lips do have yellow in it. All right, check that out. Before and after. Custom teeth cleaning, just like that.
Quick question.
Shoot.
Was this exercise one of the two that you put on the chat at the beginning of the class?
This exercise is right.
Is this one for grading?
No.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it here. Okay.
It's an in-class demo, clipping mask.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so next we're going to go to clipping masks. You guys, some of you understand how these work. Some of you are still a little bit fuzzy, so we can make this real painless. Close this out. No. All right, so here was the poster that I put together. And we're just going to do the type on the, we're going to do the clipping mask on the type. I had said about a week ago, there was it was the lobster, the poster for the lobster where they cut somebody out. I went a step further and cut someone out and put type in it. Again, it's just a container, it's just a clipping mask. But let's do this. This file is in your demo files if you want to follow along. We've got this raw folder here, and inside of it, we got a piece of texture. We've got a piece of rendered type. We've got a skyline. We've got a couple hugging. And another couple hugging that proved to be a little bit tough to isolate, so I didn't end up using it. All we're going to work with is the piece of type and the skyline. Now, if you've seen vintage postcards, a lot of them will say, welcome, or welcome, or greetings from St. Louis, or greetings from California. And in the type, the word California, they'll have little images of California, or little images of St. Louis, or Wisconsin, or whatever. You can do that real simple with clipping masks. Now, to do separate letters, each letter would have to be on its own layer. Right now, I've got the word LA Noir all on one layer. So when we do this skyline, the entire skyline is going to go into that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. So I'll get the skyline, I'll position it kind of where I want it. Line it up a little bit. Maybe that looks okay. Thing about clipping masks, and you're going to know right away if it works. Because if it doesn't, it'll be the opposite of what you want. So visually, you're going to get an indicator right away of like, oh, that's backwards. What you want inside of what I call the cookie cutter, the cookie dough needs to go on top. So the skyline is the cookie dough. It needs to go on top of the cookie cutter. Now that we got that set up, all you got to do is right click, create clipping mask. The hotkey for this is Alt Command G or Alt Control G. And a fast keyboard shortcut is if you hold down the Alt key and you go in between the two layers, you'll see that you get this little drop down icon. Click that any one of those ways, and you should see that skyline inside of that. So all you've done is you've used the opacity of the layer below it to create a container for the layer on top. What's cool about this is now I can move this around to kind of get the best crop available. So maybe I want more of that skyline over here. Maybe I want more of this. Maybe that looks better. Clipping masks, they come up a lot. So understanding how they work, and they're not difficult, but they can really save you a lot of time. Could you do the exact same thing with a mask? You could. Is it sometimes easier with a clipping mask? It is. Not always, but in this particular instance, yes, I think it is. So we've done that before. We'll probably see it again, but I just want to reiterate that's what a clipping mask is. It's got the word mask in it, so don't think that it's, not this mask. That's a layer mask. Clipping mask has to have two layers, and it's bound to the layer below it. Hence the little icon in the layer thumbnail here. Okay, let's get to tonight's two exercises. I'll show you where they're at. We are going to be doing exercise 21 and 22, but we're going to go in reverse order. We're going to start with 22 and then go to 21. 21 is the one that I haven't really done much before, so we'll start with 22. Here's the model, and we're going to download. Okay, good shot. What are we going to do to it? I'll real quick play the video demo so you can kind of get a sense of what this thing looks like when it's done, and then we'll do it together. And this is linked on your classroom too. It's about 1:17 long. The first thing they do, they make a new layer. They set that layer to multiply for the blend mode, and then we're going to use a brush, and we're going to brush on, basically like if we were to airbrush makeup onto like a fashion model or something. Like three colors, there's like a purple, then a magenta, and then a dash of orange, kind of at the bridge of the nose. And you'll see that they don't really care. They're going outside of the boundaries. It's fine. We'll clean it up at the end. Now here's where things get a little bit hairy. I gave you guys these brushes. This is Kyle Webster. He's a professional illustrator who also side gigs for Adobe. He's really good at creating brushes. I'll show you where these brushes are and we can load them together. These are some of his spatter brushes. I like these brushes a lot. Remember when we were talking about Brian Miller and his landscape compositions, how he had that spatter that was creating shadows? These are the types of brushes that they would use. I can't say 100% he used these brushes, but he could have. So they're going to load up some splattery brushes. Looks like he's got Kyle's spatter brush control 2. So that spatter just did it's almost like, again, if we had an old crappy paintbrush, dipped it in some purple paint and then just flicked it at her face, little pops all over the place. Put a layer mask on this layer, paint out the stuff that we don't need.
Can you show the freckles again, please? But where are they on? Like, I'm trying to find them.
Did you load the brushes yet?
From where?
I'll tell you what, why don't you just wait? Don't try to follow along with this. I'll walk you through it. I just want to show you guys what it ends up looking like.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing it together.
Now, here's the thing. We will do this part. He uses the curvature tool pen. I don't like this tool that much. So I'm going to use the either the free form or just the pen tool. I'm a little bit more comfortable with it. Guys, you use whatever tool you want. He's going to mask out a little piece of the eye. Now, we did blend if 2 exercises ago with the road. Remember, and then we showed a little bit of the gravel coming through the road where it said, I can't remember the name of the type, the yellow type. We're using blend if, and we're using the underlying layer. This is one of the coolest effects because what it's going to do is her skin has some natural highlights to it right in here. If this paint was for real, you would still be able to see those highlights. The light source hasn't changed. So by using blend if and the underlying layer, take a look at what happens to her cheek. Brought those highlights right back out. That looks great. And that's it. So that's what we're going to go for. So let's try it. Here she is. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is we're going to create a new layer. That's easy enough. New layer, and you'll remember that the blend mode is set to multiply. So on the new layer, we're going to jump up here and go to multiply. So far, so good. Now they did 3 colors. I'm a little bit okay with you guys choosing your own colors, but try not to deviate too much. It's important that I know that you know how to do this tutorial. If you want to be a little bit more creative and you're like, oh, it'd be cool if she was green and blue and orange, that's fine. But make sure that you put like 3 colors in there. And you do want to have that spatter effect. So it's set to multiply. I'm going to try to replicate it as close as the designer did. So they start off with a purple. B for brush. I've got a soft edge brush. And I'm just going to take a sweep across. F5 real quick. It's pretty good. That's too much. Try that one more time. Okay. So that's my first pass. I'm going to change my color to more of like a magenta. I'll pull like some more reds into it. Grab that. And then they ended with like a little pop right here on the nose of like an orange. Something like that. Again, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing here is We've got 3 colors. We need to get it off the background. We need to get it off of her finger, and we need to get it off this piece of the background too. But first things first, now we need to get that spatter effect. So Kyle's brushes are in your resources. I'll show you where those are and we'll load these together. Twirl up exercises for a moment. Resources. Brushes. Right here at the very top is Kyle's, remember, ABR Adobe brush set. So if you click on this, it should just download. Once you have it downloaded, it can only open in one program. So all you have to do is click on it. So go to your downloads, double click, and it's loaded. Where is it? Window, brushes, should be at the very bottom. There's Kyle's. Okay, we've got a few to choose from. I don't really remember where they're at. Let's take a look.
I don't see my brushes.
Go to Window Brushes.
Yeah. Is it under special effects brushes? I don't know what's happening, but every time I click something, it sounds and it's not doing anything.
For me, it was under special effects brushes.
Let me see your screen.
Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, maybe you don't have permission. Hang on. Okay, go ahead and try it now.
Okay, give me a second.
Recording in progress.
This thing is not okay. Now it should let me.
Okay, so go to our classroom. Or did you already download the brushes?
Yes.
All right, go to your downloads.
Mm. Here. And it opens in.
No, you just like on your normal interface, like wherever you would access downloads.
Yeah, I just want to my documents. Oh, it's because it's not showing that area. I don't know.
Yep,
Okay.
now just double click on that.
Yeah, and it opens Photoshop right after. Hold on, I don't know why it's not showing on the screen, but
Okay.
there
So
it is.
you double click on it. So go to
Window,
Mhm. Brushes.
brushes.
Twirl down special effect.
I'm not sure why it's not opening.
Can you twirl that folder down? Oh, yeah, there they are.
There it is. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We don't have the exact same brush set as him. We're going to have to kind of make do, but we've got something that's pretty close. So the ones that I'm going to use are in Kyle's and under special effects. I'm going to use the 80 spatter brush pressure. Again, it's not going to be the exact same, but that's okay. Now, because it's got brush pressure assigned to it, I'm going to use a stylus to kind of get the full effect. So I'm going to load in a dark purple. Just take a little sweeping pass here. Just like that. kind of a nice little peppering effect. A few little texture pieces out there. We've got we got 3 more things to do to this. We've got to remove the excess material from the background. That's easy. We need to make a selection around the eyelid. Not difficult, but something we probably haven't done before. And then we need to do a blend if. That'll be the easiest part. So let's do it in that order. We'll start with, I'm gonna grab my brush again. We're done with the splatter brush. I'm just gonna go back to very conventional brush here. Let's go to window brushes. I got to get rid of some of these. These are starting to take up some room. I don't need Kyle's anymore. Actually, I already had it loaded. Go to legacy, and I'm just going to get a soft edge. All right, on layer 1, we need a layer mask because we got to paint away some stuff here. So that's easy. Just layer mask. We're going to paint with black, 100% opacity. And you don't even really have to be that careful with it because she's got dark hair. Just kind of get close to the edge here. Paint that out. I'm going to get this little piece of a finger and then the other side as well. Now, it's up to you. I think it looks weird that her eyes have purple in it, so I'm going to mask that part out too. I don't know if that was in the demo, but to me it looked weird. All right. So here's where a multiply layer looks like. Looking pretty good. Some of you would say, well, could I just brush in the area that I don't want here? You could. It's just going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit of a wavy line. So what he does, or she, I don't know who does the demo. They use the pen tool and they carve out that kind of Egyptian pharaoh eyebrow. It's easy to do. We're going to want to make sure that we're on the right layer. We're going to go to the pen tool. Now, if you want to use the curvature pen, knock yourself out. I'm just not as good with it. So I'm just going to use the pen. We're going to make sure that we load in a path. You don't want a shape up here at the top. If you do a shape, it's not going to work. So you just need a path. Because once we have a path, we're going to create a selection off of the path. So if you guys are good with Illustrator, this should be a brainer. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag. Click, hold, and drag. I'm going to hold down Alt to break that handle. Come back the other way. Finish it off. So that's my path. Now, guys, this isn't a path and anchor point class, so I don't want to get into the minutia of like how do you bend anchor points and how do you control Bezier points. Hopefully your Illustrator class taught you that. If not, get it as close as you can. Once you complete your path, what you're going to want to do is make a selection based off of it. That's the marching ants. The way that you'll do that is just keep your tool selected and you should be able to right click and choose make selection. This is going to prompt a new dialog box where we can put a little bit of feather into it. So we'll put a feather of, I think they used 4 pixels and choose OK. What that's going to allow us to do is now we can paint inside of this shape. So we're using black still. B for brush. And just Control Z that. Make sure that you're on the layer mask, not the layer. There we go. Done with the selection, so you can just hit Control or Command D. Now, if you want to do the other eye, you certainly can. They didn't do it in the demo. I think it looks weird to just have one, but follow along. It's no big deal. So this is how it looks so far. The blend if is no different than what we did last week. You just double click on the layer. We're using the underlying layer here, and we're targeting whites. So if we click, hold, and drag, you can see we can start to bring some of those whites back, but they're really harsh. So what we need to do is we need to hold down the Alt key or Option key, split that handle, so we gently bring some of those highlights back in. And that looks pretty good.
Can you show again the selection with the pen? I I was following along, but I got kind of lost and I can't do it.
So just, do you know how to use the pen tool?
Yes.
Okay, so all you need to do get your pen tool and just make a shape around the eye. So I just click once. I'm going to click, hold, and drag to make a Bezier point. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click, hold, and drag. I'm going to hold down the Alt key before I let go to break my anchor point and send it back the other way. Click, click, hold, and drag, and then complete my path by clicking on my starting point.
Yep.
Okay. So then right click, choose make selection.
Mm-hmm.
We use a value of 4 pixels and choose OK.
Okay.
Now make sure that you're on the layer mask, not the layer. If
Yeah.
you paint on the layer, you're just going to paint black. So when you're on the layer mask, B for brush, paint black, and you should
Yeah, I got
mask
it.
out just that area. We need to deselect now, so Control or Command D, and then it's just blend if. So double click the layer.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for the underlying layer. And I don't even think I'm going to pull the slider. I'm going to break the slider right here at the beginning. I'm just going to hold down the Alt or Option key, break it, start to bring back some of those highlights underneath. Looks pretty good.
Wait, you double click on top of the layer mask or
No, just off to the right. You don't even have to do it that way. You can just go to layer effects and go to blending options. Both of those will bring up your layer styles and you're looking for blend if.
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
And then after you bring it up, how do you fix it for the highlights?
Hold down the Alt or Option key and break the slider and pull to the left.
Mm. Oh, got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. If you need more support, that video, it's a minute long and they go through everything. Just pause it. It's pretty simple. Well, I don't want to say it's pretty simple, but they explain it pretty well. Maybe even better than I did. So if you need to see it again, just click on the link. But I do want to keep moving along. We got one more composite to do. This one I have not done before. I have watched it. We're going to watch it again, and then I'll go through it with you. I don't think it's really that difficult. I think we need to unzip a file. And we need to bring a file into a file, which isn't difficult. But from there, we're just transforming, rotating some stuff around, and then masking. So there's not a whole lot to be done. But to show you what's about to come, here we go. So again, we've got a model and 2 of the same fish. We're going to kind of make a mermaid type thing. So it looks like the fish, like the beta fin, I think it's a beta fish or something like that. It's upside down and the fish's head is pretty close to her nose. So let's keep that in mind. And then they go to a warp And they're just gonna make I guess it's supposed to look like the hair. I don't know. The fins are gonna go a little bit more wild. Like a mohawk, it's kind of coming out in front. Here's your layer mask. Soft edge brush. Big soft edge brush. Got it off of her eyes, her nose, her ear, and they took a little chunk out of the back too. Same fish. This one's bigger. And they just masked it. That's it. So let's give it a shot. This is a zip file, so I do need to extract it. And you will too. So it's in my downloads. Composite photo. So hopefully everyone knows how to extract files by now. Just click on it, right click, and choose extract all. Extract. So we've got 2 files here. These are the ones that we need to open. Okay. There's a lot of different ways to get a file into another file. You could select all, copy, go to the other tab, paste. You could right click on this, choose duplicate layer, target the other document. I think if it's just 2 files, one of the easiest ways is just literally click, hold, and drag the layer up into the other document. I'm still holding, and then you let go. So that seems to work. Whatever way works for you, get the fish in there. Okay, I know that I need to use this fish twice, so I'm just gonna go ahead and duplicate it now. So I'll just hit Control or Command J, turn off the top, and I'm just gonna work with this one right here. It's a transform issue. So Command or Control T, we're gonna rotate it so that fish's face is kind of following in line with the nose. So Control T, rotate it. It's too big, so I'll size it down while I'm here. All right, mine's at about 70%. I think this will be okay, so I'll hit enter. Before I do, I'm gonna hit warp, edit.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah,
Don't know. I honestly don't know how to extract the files into Photoshop. Honestly.
okay, so right click and choose extract all on the folder.
It doesn't even show the option. I've just clicked it from Finder.
Why don't you show your screen?
Oh yeah, I'm doing this separately because if I do this on my tablet or my Mac, I'm gonna get like confused like between like seeing you demonstrate and then me doing like manually. So that's why I'm doing it on both separate devices.
Well, I'm not going to be able to help you if I can't see your screen. So you should just Google.
I'll put the zoom on my MacBook. Just give me a moment.
I'm also on Mac. For me, when I downloaded the zip file and everything, I was just able to open all the files like in that folder one at a time.
Okay, yeah, do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Alan, are you on a Mac?
Yeah.
Just double click and see if you can just open them. See if you don't have to unzip it.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm on Mac now. Should I share?
Well, before you do that, see if you can just double click in the folder and just open the images. Maybe on the Mac you don't have to extract.
I opened the folder. It'll give me like these 3 options.
Okay, why don't you share your screen then?
Over here.
Yeah, just double click on the model PSD. No, not that one. Just double click on the model. Okay, great. So we're good. So now double click on the beta fish. All right, now just get that image in the other one. Just click, hold, and drag and pull it in there. Probably have to do it on the layer. Yep. Keep going down. Keep going. Keep holding it. Don't let go. Nope. Let go of it on the picture. Nope, nope, nope. Don't let go. Keep holding on. Drop it on her face.
On her face.
On her face, not the. There you go. Yep, you were right the first time. Go back. Don't do it on the layer. Do it on her face, on the picture's face. Yes,
Like that.
yes,
So that's it.
that's it.
Okay. Yeah, sorry I took some of your time.
It's your time. You don't have to apologize. No. Listen, if you're having trouble with it, I guarantee you like 4 or 5 other people are. So I'm glad that you brought it up. I wish there was a way, and this is just, it's not going to happen, but there's something called, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically where if we were at brick and mortar and you guys were having trouble, I could actually drive your computers and show you. When we're working remotely, it's just tough to, and it's my fault. It's not anybody else's, like exactly how best to enunciate certain directions. So, no, you don't apologize at all. I totally get it. You guys are learning online. It's not the easiest thing, especially when it comes to some of these technical procedures. So, all right, so let me back up. So I got the fish in here. Now what we need to do is we need to duplicate it. So I'm going to hit Control or Command J, or if you don't want to, you can pull it back in. It doesn't matter. It'll do the exact same thing.
Can you share your screen again?
Yes.
Thanks.
So let me trash this out. So to pull that back in, here's the beta, and I'm just going to click, hold, and drag. And drop it in here. Now I know I'm going to use 2 of these, so I'll just go ahead and hit Control or Command J. I'm going to turn off this top layer, and I'm just going to work with this one right here. So I need to rotate it, so that's Control T. And in addition to rotating, it's too big. So I'm just going to move this around. It's kind of right around in here. Give or take. The other thing that they do is they hit a warp and they kind of push the hair a little bit forward. I say hair, it's the fish fins is what it is. But I guess it's supposed to look like hair. So I'm still in a transformation, so I can just jump to edit, transform, warp. It's got some, it wants to jump to custom right now. I don't want that. I want a 3x3 grid up here in default. You could choose a 5x5, or you could plug in some other custom number. 3x3 is going to be plenty big enough. And I'll just forward warp this, push this up a little bit. You can have a little bit of fun with this. Pull this down. That looks good. I'm in a transformation, so I have to either say yes or no. So I'm just going to hit enter to apply. All right. Now I need to mask out the stuff I don't want. So that's just a matter of popping a mask on. I've got a brush already loaded, kind of a nice big edge brush here.
What's the opacity that you have in your brush right now? Or the
100.
hardness?
I don't think there's any hardness.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank
0.
you.
I can see that I kind of messed up a little bit. I'm going to push this back into place a little bit better. That lines up a little bit better. I want this hairline to kind of start where her forehead is. So B for brush, and now I'll bring back some of that where right behind her ear. X. All right. I can live with that. They knocked off a little bit of the tail feather. I don't really understand why they did that. It didn't do anything. So your next one is going to do something like this. I might have to actually jump back to that. So it goes this way. Oh, I think I understand why they got rid of it. That makes more sense now. Okay. So this one is also going to get masked, but before I do it, that's why they took this little piece off, because it kind of overlaps. So just B for brush. Take this piece off. And if I need to add it back in, it's just a mask, so it's not the end of the world. Just kind of chop that off. This one's right here. Mask. Take this fish out. Kind of like this. I do think that theirs looked a little bit better, but no, I guess we're pretty close. It's kind of what it looks like. So if you want to tune up the masks a little bit and make it more of a smooth composite, that's cool. But the reality is just working with masks, taking 2 or more images, combining them together, rotating, warping, so you kind of get a little bit more of a seamless. Now, does this look as good as like a Eric Johannsson that we saw at the beginning of the hour? Absolutely not. I think anybody would look at this and be like, that's clearly masks. It is, but it's not a bad starting point either. Like I said, these links are available. Each one's about a minute long. If you have trouble with them, please watch the link and just work your way through it because they're not complicated. It's 7:52. I want to take a break. Let's meet back in here at 8:03 and we'll talk about the 50% critique. I'll let you guys take it away. You know the drill by now. So let's take 10 minutes, get up and walk around a little bit. I'm going to pause the recording. So we're here at the 50% critique. This is really kind of like our last critique for this project before we start our next project, which should be fun. Looking ahead a little bit, and I don't want to like get too far down the line, but we're going to be doing digital painting and drawing, and you guys are going to paint and draw. So if that kind of freaks you out a little bit, I don't want you to worry about it. I've got a lot of techniques that not everything has to look hyper real. Let's say that. I look at artists like Dave Raposa and Loish, and it's like, I'm not that good. I don't know if I'd ever be that good, but I know if I practice, I'll be better. There's no doubt about that. And that's kind of the attitude that I want you guys to take. You're just gonna have to practice. But on that note, we are going to be starting some Procreate demos as well. So those of you that are using Procreate, I've got some tips and some tricks. And for those of you that are not, hopefully maybe I inspire you to check out an iPad or start saving away some money and eventually getting one, because Procreate is, I don't want to say it's becoming a designer's tool. It is a designer's tool. Like almost, I think everybody I know uses Procreate in some fashion. Now, whether or not they complete compositions in it, that's a different story, but for rapid visualization and quick sketches, it's great. So, but more on that next week. All right, let's get this going. Anybody that wants to go first, just call it up.
I'll go first.
Sounds good. And yellow.
Okay. So yeah, just a refresher. Mine was on a like horror book. And that's what I've got so far. Of course, still have to put in the billing block down here.
Mhm. Yeah, real quick, go to image size. Let's make sure this is the right size.
Mhm. Yep.
Good. Okay. Gotta say, at some point I wouldn't give up on that other idea. I really like those trees in the water. I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah, I might still do that one in this kind of brush that I used because
Mhm.
I mean I like this one, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence. Or if I do go with it, then I'll still mess with some things like the in part. I want to fix that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's two students. Darshane is one. Might have been Rachel, but might have been you too. I don't know. I had two students that pitched an idea for their final project. If you want to do the other one for your final, that's fine too.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I already pitched you an idea though.
I thought you did. Yeah. As I was saying, I'm like, wait a second. I think she already did. It was the video game cover. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I see where it's going. Got room for the billing block, of course, then. Do need a tagline for it still.
Okay.
I think that the top probably makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is the type going to be rendered by hand?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It looks pretty traditional. It's a pretty good looking charcoal brush. Just make sure that I get it. It's a 50%. It's not done, but some of your branches seem like they got more of a sketchy look, whereas some of them look more smudged out with your thumb. So try to keep it consistent.
Okay.
Okay. Is there going to be any color or is it monochromatic?
I'm thinking monochromatic,
Okay.
maybe a spot of color, but I don't really know where I would put that.
Can I give a suggestion?
Yeah,
Sure.
please.
I wish there was like a more like horror aspect to it. So I think for like a spot of color, you can probably do something like kind of uncanny valley. You can have like realistic eyes where the eyes are supposed to be, and they could be like really distressed out, just staring at you. I think it would add to the horror, and it'd be like that pop of color to bring somebody in.
Give it a
Okay.
shot. I mean, you could always do it on a separate layer, and if it doesn't work, just turn it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
try that out.
And here's the thing about horror. Like I'm a real big horror fan, and like almost everything else, but horror especially, there's like so many different subcategories of it where there's a thriller that's kind of horror, and there's the slasher that's horror, there's the supernatural that's horror. Like this one feels, eerie, but not really scary.
Mhm.
It feels like it would fit in like the maybe like young adult section if it was a book,
Yeah,
So
it is. And it's like a supernatural one.
yeah, I mean that's coming across. But yeah, if you wanted to punch up like, "Ew," yes, something, yeah, human eyes or some kind of eyes might look pretty unsettling.
Mm.
I mean, it's too bad that we weren't doing these things for real because there's this term called substrate, and it just means the material that you're making it out of. But if you were dealing with a real substrate, you could do stuff where, like maybe you guys have heard of like spot varnish. If you haven't heard the term, you've seen it, Of course, what I've got right here doesn't have it, but imagine like the word Spider-Man. If it was spot varnish, it would be a different chemical sprayed on it, so it would reflect light. So like something like this, you might be able to look at it one way, but then as you walk by it, it catches the light in a certain way, and then like the eyes kind of shimmer out. Or you could do like, print reflective. There's like all types of stuff you could do where, people's eyes, they could see their eyes in it. Unfortunately, because it's just a static Photoshop image, we can't do that. But don't let that stop you in the future. If you've got a really good idea, try to go farther with it and see what you can do. But yeah, I see where it's going. And yeah, if anybody has any suggestions, don't even ask, just unmute, go at it, please. Because next critique, you guys are going to start running it yourself, so you might as well get in the habit now.
Also, I sent you an email, so just whenever you get a chance,
Okay.
take a look.
Yeah, and keep an eye on the chat too. People are like dropping some suggestions and compliments in there too. So, all right, whoever wants to go next, take it away.
I can go next.
Sounds good.
Sweets.
Yeah, Danielle, I remember that. So I will. Are you going to have internet access, Danielle, next week or not?
No, not once I leave. No.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem.
Sebastian, go ahead.
So the initial genre for this was sci-fi. It's leaning more into horror now, and like kind of sci-fi is a little bit lost, honestly. But the reason for that is I was looking at like a bunch of video game posters that are like sci-fi horror and stuff, and one of like the big inspirations for me for this poster was I don't know if this will load. Oh god. Okay, there we go. It froze for a bit. This poster in particular, I really like the background texture, the foggy look. Everything about this is like awesome. So yeah, I want the background texture to blend in more. This part, like how the fog kind of blends in as well. Initially this is going to be like a light ray. I had it behind this layer with like a different blend effects, something like that. But I end up liking the black. It's just I kind of want this to blend better because it kind of just looks like a a shape. Yeah. I have also smart objects are like a godsend for me as someone who works in After Effects a lot. I already mentioned that before about how they're like pre-comps. So I have that with just like a gradient effect or like a halftone effect in the background, the mask. And I still need the tagline. So either it's gonna be like under here or it'll be just like in the bottom left here.
So you said that you're a big fan of smart objects because they're like pre-counts. Why are they working so well for you in Photoshop? Like, what are you doing in Photoshop that would require? I don't see anything in here that necessitates a smart object per se.
No, it was just this gradient map that I had here. It was just an adjustment layer that I had like over these two layers.
I see.
So yeah, I didn't want it to affect the background here.
I see.
Yeah.
You could have used a clipping mask. It would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I just think like in pre-comps as someone who like works a lot
Yeah.
in After Effects, honestly.
Sometimes, and smart objects are great. They're great. They can add undue file size. Like a clipping mask wouldn't take up as much space because it doesn't have a nested composition in it. But 11 by 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 layers. It's not that big of a deal. So
Okay,
if it works good for you, that's cool.
Honestly, yeah, and After Effects I end up making like way too many pre-comps, so I could try to reduce that.
Yeah, I mean, After Effects is a bit different animal. Sometimes, I mean, that's what they're for, and like you sometimes can't get around it. So yeah, that's totally understandable. The reference image that you're going off of, the two things that I like what's going on in that one that I don't see in this one is I like the colors a bit more. I like those blues, and I definitely like that pop of color too.
Yeah, definitely the subject for especially needs to pop out a little bit more. I noticed this like because this whole thing is really dark. So
yeah, it looks good. It's definitely moody. This is something that I want everyone to be cognizant of. Let's say that you're really happy with it, you submit it for the port show, those will be printed, they'll be put up on the walls. Everything that you do in Photoshop on the screen is going to be darker when you print. This might be very dark.
Yeah.
I don't mean dark as in moody, I mean it might be hard to read. So I don't know if you want to think about lightening the background or keeping it as is, and then if it did go to port show, you'd need to adjust the levels. You have to run a couple test prints.
100%. I will look into that because yeah.
But
When I looked at the thumbnail for the file, I noticed it like got a lot darker.
yeah. Kind of like what we saw with the last one. I do think a spot color somewhere could really bring this thing out, but that's going to be up to you.
Yeah, I'll figure that for sure. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
I
agree
could
with
go
the
next.
Black Mirror. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, someone said Black Mirror. Not only is
Oh
it
yeah.
black and kind of mirror-ish, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I was talking and I didn't realize that I was muted. Sorry.
Okay.
This is what I have so far. I had the idea of making on one side being like the loneliness and like them separately, but I didn't find the right, like it was hard for me to find the pictures, like the perfect pose to have on that side, like them walking uphill and someone that looked similar to the ones that I had in the middle already. So I decided to take that idea of the poster. I do want to probably find a way to make both faces be a little more visible because right now I feel like I can see both, but at the same time I don't see as much of the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm still thinking if I want to do them in color and then the background and like the title with the sunset clouds kind of in color or having the background black and white and them in color. I'm not sure. And then this, after I'm done with this will go on top of like a white background and it's gonna be kind of like a square and then under it's gonna be like the credits line kind of thing. Just typed underneath right here.
Yeah, I don't see until you said it, I didn't see the guy's face at all. Now that you say it, I do see it, but yeah, it's pretty lost.
Yeah.
What happened to the idea of like both of them coming together and then there was like a shape in the middle? Could you not figure that out?
I couldn't figure it out. I tried to do it on like here, this area of the shoulder that it's overlapping. But it looked really weird. I can keep trying and see how it looks.
Yeah, that was a cool, like in your sketches, I thought that was a really cool
Yes.
idea, but I thought you might have trouble doing it, but I think it'd be cool if you could, if you can figure it out, it'd be awesome. But
Yeah, I can try. I honestly, I was more worried about the faces and because I couldn't figure it out, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like overdo something else if it's not gonna work. So I first need to figure out the face part. Um, and then maybe I can just play around with this area and maybe at the end I'll end up moving the title to the top instead. But I still have the same idea, I just didn't know how to execute it and that looked correctly, if that makes sense.
it does. Yeah, it does. I thought it might be kind of difficult.
I knew this was going to be challenging.
Mhm.
My other sketch was easy.
it was more like a collage, just a
Yeah.
bunch of pictures. And then this one had more like technical things. So I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah, keep working it. Once the background is black and white, I think that'll help bring the foreground elements to the foreground more. Because right now, I don't know if it's a blend mode on top that's giving everything the color, but everything just feels kind of flat. So
Yeah.
having a difference in warmth and, saturation, I think will help promote what's important versus what's not as important.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'll go next.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I have two separate versions. The one that I submitted is this one.
Mm-hmm.
So for the background, I used one image, I duplicated it, and then I kind of used my brushes to black out this area just to make it flow a little bit. In the camera lens, I put I used the generative fill
Mm-hmm.
to create like a comic version of like the rumors of when Annabelle visited a place and it caught on fire. So I created that in the camera lens here to add like a little comedic effect. And then yeah, for the quotations here, I was gonna do like some type of like blog headlines or like breaking news headlines, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if it's gonna work really well. So I've just been experimenting with that.
Was there another one? You made it sound like there was two.
It's the only difference is the way that I have the quotation
Oh, okay.
marks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the only difference. Sorry.
Gotcha. It looks way scarier than I thought it was gonna look. At this point, I don't really see the comedy anymore.
Okay.
Um,
I went a bit far.
that's a creepy looking doll. I would say, okay, let's take 2 steps back for a second. Your brush is like the white distressed in the upper left, yeah?
This here,
Yeah,
this is a texture that I downloaded from
okay,
your class, the
got
plasma.
it. Tone that down and move it more to the left and the right. It's taking up a little bit too much space. Like it's too overpowering. Just nudge it over so it's not that far into the composition. And then if you want to reuse it elsewhere, then you can just duplicate it and transform it. That way it's kind of in the lower right as well. But it's inching in too much.
Okay. Now, when you say tone it down, do you mean turning the opacity down or just moving it over
Maybe
to
a
take
little,
up less room?
definitely the latter, definitely moving it over to take up less room. And then maybe if you need to tone down the opacity or hit it with a mask and just select certain
Oh,
parts that aren't as much. It's
okay.
pretty overpowering. I like the effect, and around the girl and elsewhere it looks good, but up there it got too,
Yeah.
it's just too much.
Okay.
Is the camera on its own layer?
It is.
Okay, I would move it up. Right now, the camera's not pointed at her face. It's a little bit confusing. You should
Okay.
move it up so it looks like it's more framed at her. I think that'll read a little bit better.
Okay, so just moving it up more.
Yeah, moving it up. And then if the lens ends up obscuring her face, just push her off to the right more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, here's the beauty of it. We're not working for a real client. So if this thing just pivots and becomes a full-blown horror movie, so be it, because it looks pretty spooky right now.
Yeah, I got very spooky vibes too, and then I lost the comedic approach, and I was trying to figure out a way to get that back.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I saw this, I wouldn't think anything's funny about it.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that you're trying to make funny inadvertently makes it even more creepy. Like the generative AI stuff is like, it's just weird, like in a good way, but it's just, yeah, anytime you got a doll, you're already like verging on creepy territory. And then when you make it kind of semi-transparent and like smudged out and all the stuff that you've done, like nothing looks funny about this.
Yeah, okay, I got the same vibe. Okay.
So you can try to make it, you know, save it as is. This can be your horror version. See if you can work on a comedy version. I don't know what that looks like at this point, but try it.
Will do. I appreciate the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I will go next.
Yeah, Daniela, yeah, go ahead. I thought about that, the font. You absolutely could. That might be one of the most on the nose things. You try the font, but even if the font was Comic Sans, like just that image alone is so weird. It's like, I don't know, maybe.
I will go.
Sounds good.
Okay. This is my the movie about the drama about the Daisy about the Indian adventure drama movie about
Okay.
the Himalayas, the sun towards the clouds, like the orange sunset, and I use the text drop shadowing and then the textures like the orangey texture and like the hue saturation, like the lightning and the darkness, and in the house, the town of the Himalayas, like that, and he looks like the he was sunny, and I used this man and the woman about the this about the what's the movie, the characters in the movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks like a pretty real poster. A couple things. Where did these images come from? Did you find them on like Unsplash? Are they pretty high resolution?
High resolution.
Because if you found them off of Google, they're going to be low res and we can't use Google Images. But if you found them on Unsplash or Stock Photo or Adobe Stock, you should be okay.
Okay.
You might have trouble with the billing block at the bottom because you've got the town down there. It might be hard to read
Yeah.
bottom type, but you might be able to figure it out. I don't know.
Added credits.
Yes. The type looks good. I like the type. Be a little bit careful where the man's nose is. There's like a dark spot. See what you can do about that. It's where the sun is kind of hitting the nose. I don't know if it's a mask or a blend mode, but right there on the tip of his nose, it's pretty dark. So see if you can work with masking that piece out.
Okay. Sounds appreciated.
Yeah, I like the type. I like what you did with the type. That looks good. It's like an outer glow on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, drop the credits in there tonight or tomorrow because it might take a while to figure that out. And don't forget the tagline. You need a tagline for the movie too.
What's the tagline?
Could be whatever you want it to be.
Rated PG.
Yeah. Something that makes sense for the movie.
Okay.
I liked your sketch too. I thought your sketch looked pretty good, but if you want to go photo composite, that's fine too.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll go next.
Sounds great.
Okay. So, yesterday was spent realizing that I don't have a lot of Legos. So I went to the Lego store and I bought more Lego figures so I can place them in some sort of a scene to
Good
see
idea.
if I liked the photography aspect of it.
Mhm.
But since I didn't really have a super clear, like, I don't know, I'm not a very good Lego builder. I just got a bunch of random bricks and they don't entirely look like something that I would want in there. Like I kind of have like a light source and like a, why are you loading? And a camera thing, and then I just kind of got some random others. This guy right here was a stock image because I really liked the idea of like the chain like lifting down the T
Yeah.
or like a stick here like adjusting the end. I think I want to keep playing with adding more interactivity to the title.
Yeah.
And these little bricks here, I just found a tutorial about like how to make a Lego brick in Photoshop, and I used that as like the frame, although it kind of is vastly different than the style of the actual Lego, so I'm not sure if I like that.
I don't mind it. It looks pretty good to me.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So my main thing is I might go back and I might draw like over all these guys to like get a little bit more custom and then just rearrange everything to make a little bit more cohesive scene.
yeah, I kind of like the photography. A couple of
Oh.
things. You still have a lot of negative space.
Yeah, I want to remake the negative space because with the props that the guys have,
Okay.
I
Um,
need to make it go lower.
I like the mask that you put on the chain to the T. I don't know. It looks like one character is like lifting up the end. That device that thing is using, that mask should kind of go on the other side of the N as well, like in between it.
Oh, did it not?
If it is, it's super subtle.
Yeah, unfortunately, this thing is a transparent thing,
Okay.
so it's weird. It looks weird.
Well, just mask out a little chip of the end so we can see like it's on top of it.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
You could there's a Lego font that's free if you want. I don't know if that's too much Lego stuff, but you could find a
Mhm.
Lego font. I was thinking like if nothing else, you could just scale up the type. The mini kit marathon, if it took up more room, it would at least shore up some of that negative space.
Yeah.
That's an idea, but yeah, I mean, I don't. If you draw it, I'm not saying it would be better or worse, but right now it reads as Lego figures. And I think that's the most important thing. If you draw it, then it's going to be your drawing of Lego figures. So
Yeah.
I kind of think that the photography makes more sense. But
Yeah. Again, it's just a shame that I don't have all of the things that I would want to have
yeah,
to make it look more like a scene and not just like a bunch of random bricks, hopefully.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you could set it up again. Now that you know what you know, just pay attention to setting it up the way that you want it. Set your light source up, get your camera ready, take a shot, then rearrange them in a different pose, take another shot. And then at least that way you could mask out and make it look like there's twice as many Legos.
Yeah, these are all like masks. Like it was one cohesive scene, but then I masked out certain parts to like
Mm-hmm.
condense it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And who knows? I mean, if you've got these guys on masks and if you got 4, 5 other different Legos or you know somebody does, shoot a few more and you can have them kind of sprinkled throughout, like towards the bottom and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They could even interact with the billing block if you wanted.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah. Yeah, the billing block is just the usernames of the people who are gonna be there.
But yeah,
And it's twitch.tv/minikit marathon. It starts tomorrow.
okay.
Figured I'd give them a promo even though I will be there.
It's too bad you didn't have a little bit more time. You could have printed it and actually used it, for real.
Yeah, I'll pitch this to them next time.
Yeah.
All right, cool, thanks.
And then somebody said maybe an effect on the type to make it pop out a little bit more.
Okay, that could work too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll play around.
Okay. All right, who's next?
I can go next.
All right, sounds good, Liv. This is all we got left, guys. So let's go ahead and just get to it. That way you guys can get 5 days of design in.
Let me zoom in a bit. This is what I have so far. I'm still deciding on what kind of background to use. And I've got my placement for the building block. And I know there was one other thing to put. I forgot what it's called. Sorry.
Tagline?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I could perhaps move the dog around, put it somewhere up top,
I think
or
you got 2 blocks of dummy type with the lines, or you got 3 blocks of dummy type with the lines and one's real long. Just put your tagline where the long line is.
okay.
Yeah, it's really good the way that it is, and I think if you try to put something at the top, it's just gonna muddy it up a little bit.
Yeah, because I like the angle that
Mhm.
these two texts would be on.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good illustration.
Thank you. I
Have
would.
you have you tried Procreate yet?
I don't have any Apple products, unfortunately.
It's all right. If
But
and when you try it, I think you're gonna like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be like a little learning curve.
If you like to draw, the thing about Procreate, that's all it is. It's just drawing. So it's gonna, you'd be you'd be surprised how fast you'll pick it up because that's all it is.
Yeah,
So
I used to just draw on Photoshop all the time,
mhm.
and then I lost the ability to
Mm.
because my account got deleted or something. And then I bought Clip Studio Paint because it was on a discount.
Sure. So one suggestion is make the title bigger. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know how to do that in that amount of room. I guess the only way you could do that is if you shrink the dog down. That would leave it more room. You could try it. I like the size of the dog, which means you don't have much room for type. But I see why Rachel said that. You know,
Oh,
let's size it up a little bit.
yeah, maybe delete a few things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's like you lose one good thing to add a different good thing. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think it could be bigger. But you've got a couple puzzle pieces that are already kind of placed together. You kind of drawn yourself into a bit of a corner. So I'll leave it up to you to kind of figure out, if it stays as is, I think it's fine. But yeah, if there's a way to make the title bigger or more prominent,
Okay.
I mean, I do like the angle. I get that. I see why you're doing it, but try a version where it's just along the top. That way it could be larger. You don't have to do it right now, but just come up with a couple different versions of the type in different spots and in different sizes with the same illustration. Just kind of move some stuff around, see how it looks. If it works, great. If not, at least, you got this to fall back on.
Got it. Should I keep the title handwritten or
I think so.
yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, you can try it with a font. I can't imagine a font looking better. You can try it.
Mm,
I'm a
like
big fan of hand-done typography.
yeah, I've never really done it before. I try a yellow background before too.
I like the white.
Just the white?
I do. To me, it looks like snow almost.
Yeah. And then the little blood stain. Perfect.
yeah, like, it's one of those things like, it's probably not snow, but
Yeah.
if it was, that's the way, in my mind, blood would look in the snow. Whereas if you put yellow or black, then my mind's like, well, I don't know, just the red doesn't pop out the way it would if it's a different color.
I see. I just didn't know if like it should stay white and blank if that was too little to do.
Yeah, I think that that's a question that we all ask ourselves as artists and designers of like, did I do enough? And it's a completely legitimate question, but it's a dangerous might be overstating it, but a lot of times less is more. You know, we looked at some minimal posters before and they're great, you know, like could they have done more? Yeah, absolutely. Could they have added an effect and outer glow and lens flare? Yeah, they could have, but they're perfect the way that it is. Like this, the simplicity of them sometimes is just like exactly what you need. So trying to err on the side of restraint is difficult. Like I think that we always are like, well, there needs to be more. You know, we just keep cramming stuff into it, and that might be a problem sometimes. So yeah, I would go more because you start like adding more stuff, and then you start taking away from the idea, I guess. You know, I show this to 20 people that didn't see this at the sketch and see if they pick out the woman's face. I don't think they will. And then when you tell them, it's like, wow, that's, you know, and if you start adding backgrounds and textures and blend modes and stuff, I think you're going to lose that effect.
Yeah, I was like afraid that the woman's face was too like noticeable because I've seen it all day. So
Yeah.
it's like all I can see
Yes.
forever.
Yeah. Show it to people who've never seen it before.
Got it.
Yeah. That goes for all of you guys. Getting fresh set of eyes on stuff, because that is a problem. I've worked on so many things where yeah, you know it. You know the mistakes, you know the seams. Other people don't know that stuff. You know, let them be the judge because they'll be the audience ultimately. Um, see what they have to say. And they'll also spot things that you have been looking at so long. It's like that saying, you can't see the forest from the trees. There'll be glaring mistakes right out in front of you, and someone else will walk by and like, oh, you misspelled something, or you forgot this, you know, pixel or whatever. You're like, oh my God, it was like it's been right there. It happens.
Yeah.
So, some
Thank
food for
you.
thought.
Thank you for the advice.
Mm-hmm. We should have 3 more.
I can go.
Okay, sounds good, Ben.
So here what I've got, and I don't know. My main idea was create the shape of people, and it should be creates of a bunch of images of past and future life, like sons and dads life. But I decided to change it to like blur or something images of that and son. For now, I know that's something wrong right here, but I don't know how to fix it and what I can change to make it better.
What do you think is wrong?
Mm, I don't know. I'm just feel that something wrong with here.
But you don't know what it is.
No,
Hmm.
maybe just the font or placement of the text. I don't know.
I don't know. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. Two suggestions. The
Mhm.
red type is hard to read.
Mhm.
I would change the so many trees to maybe white.
Okay.
And when you put the building block in, it's going to cover up that kid's head. So I would
Mhm.
take everything and shrink it down some.
Okay.
So picture this is upside down now. The top of his head, give it some more space. So when you put that building block in there, you've got room.
Mhm. Okay.
But
Maybe like that.
maybe even more, but I wouldn't just shift him. I think I would take everything, group
Oh,
everything
okay.
together. Group, take all your layers, put it in one group, and then just transform it and make it all a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Because I like the composition. I like the colors a lot. I mean, it's strange.
Thank
Are
you.
these images high res? Did you get these off of like Unsplash?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. What does everybody else think? Maybe I'm wrong. I think he's on to something.
I think the character in the bottom left is very distracting just because he's such a different like resolution than everything else.
Okay.
And I feel like he's kind of vibrating against the red background a bit. So maybe if you turn down his saturation.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he does have some different colors.
Okay.
Or it, whatever that thing is. But yeah, maybe make that thing black and white, or yeah, pull down the saturation on that layer.
Okay.
Not a bad. You could also add like a slight Gaussian blur to it, so it's
Mhm.
not so sharp.
Okay.
I
That's-
actually thought the top right image was the most distracting because it looks like painted against all the photographs.
Yeah, I guess it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was a painting compared to the photographs of everything, but
Might be.
and that's what my eye is drawn to.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I like, it reminds me of like a David Cronenberg movie or something, which is just kind of weird. But I also like weird, so doesn't really throw me off. I agree with the bottom left. Like
Mhm.
now that that's said, that does kind of stick out a little bit. The painting doesn't throw me off too much because it looks like what you talked about. Like the top is old, the bottom is supposed to be like more futuristic. So like the painting kind of makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. You could kind of play around with it, see if you could find a
Okay.
photograph, maybe.
Okay.
But the red type, I would definitely. The font is fine. It's just yeah, the red on the gray, it's not popping out that much.
Okay. Okay, I'll change it.
Yeah, the easy fix. I like that effect in the very top center with the man. You figured out a way to make the highlights transparent. I don't know if you did a blend if and that's the highlights coming through, but that's kind of a cool effect.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool collage.
Okay. Thanks for critique.
Yeah, so far all these look good. I mean, we haven't seen one where it's like, oh boy, that's good.
Can I go next?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here's the my one so far. So I was trying to make it and also including like Illustrator as well. But I know I saw like the instructions say that we're only supposed to use Photoshop.
No,
Or
that's if you want to use some Illustrator, that's fine.
oh, okay. So I'm not taking like 50% because some of these it looks like kind of like less unfinished than 50%. Well, I was trying to like haven't gotten like the picture of an actual person for like the main background.
Mhm.
I felt like my vision was kind of blurry to be honest. I feel like I need like a bit more time here.
Mhm.
I know, but it's still like a work in progress.
But just to be clear, these images, the ones that you've drawn, these are like placeholders and you're gonna try to find photographs, is that right?
Oh, which ones?
Well, like, so the character in the background, is that gonna be a photograph or not?
It could be a photograph, yeah.
I think you could probably find a photograph of a person kind of in that pose. I don't think it would be that tough. Um, I think in this case, and I could be wrong, but I think photographs are going to look better for what you're trying to go for. It's not that vectors are bad. It's just it might end up giving the wrong message.
For Photoshop or for Illustrator?
I think I would use Photoshop. I would use photographs.
Yeah, for what I was doing here, I just did Illustrator first to see how it looked like in real like physical that I was looking for my sketch. That's what I was doing here first.
Yeah, spend some time going through databases and just work on refining keywords for your search and see if there's images that you can find that you can use. Because right now, the flatness of the vector, it sends a signal that it's hard to take serious. And I think you want it to be a little bit serious. Like right now, because of the nature of it's just vector. It flattens it out, and they end up looking like South Park cartoons. Like it ends up looking a little bit more silly than it probably should.
Yeah, that's because I was using Illustrator. It's because of the colors.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is basically just like less than 50%. So that's why
Sure.
it's like less serious. So like in the meantime, like in the future, it's gonna look like a bit more like adjusted. And after seeing like many of the other like 50% from the other classmates, so usually like I usually like go last so I can get like inspired by their sketches
Mhm.
so I can show like what I can improve so it will look like go look like that like less serious. That's like usually
Sure.
like my plan.
Sure. That makes sense. I
Mhm.
don't see a problem. Like I think you can find an image of a girl with a gun. I think you can find an image of a car. I know you can find an image of a cityscape, palm trees. Like I don't think you're gonna have to search too long to find the assets that you need to make this thing look the way that you kind of sketched it out. This is cool. This is like a good color treatment. You got everything kind of blocked in, you got your colors in place. Now it's just a matter of finding the actual images that you want to use and then recreating it. So I don't think you're too far off the 50% mark, but yeah, like make it look a little bit more realistic. And I think it's going to be a better poster. And something else to consider, the type that you've got, it's fine, it works, but I would find a really good font too, something that like speaks to the action genre.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how it looks like before I had the font.
Yeah, sure.
Can I also add one thing?
Yeah, yeah, please.
I think it would really help you if you like chose a color palette to stick to, like maybe of 3 or 4 colors.
Yeah.
That would be easier when you're creating. And
Yeah,
I
sorry.
also want to point out that I think your file size is the wrong dimensions.
How
It
do you
looks a
know?
bit small.
Real quick, go to image size. Oh, we're in Illustrator. Okay. Yeah, so when you do this for real, make sure that we're 11 by 17, 300 DPI.
Oh yeah, I'm currently in Illustrator right now. I haven't put this in Photoshop yet. That's why.
You can find out if you grab, I didn't even notice that because my uh whatever you call it, my zoom window is covering that up. So I kind of chopped off the top. But yeah, in looking at it, this looks like an 8.5 by 11. So if you go to edit artboard, uh,
Over
yours
here?
is 18 by 24, which is closer to a square than it is a rectangle. So I wouldn't change it now. I would wait to rebuild it, but that's a really good eye. I didn't catch that. Yeah, make sure that we're staying with that 11 by 17. Uh, when you set it up for real, it'll be easy to fix, but good catch on that one.
Yeah, like I said, like I was like less than 50%.
Mhm.
And also for the color palette, I haven't really like I just chose it randomly. I haven't thought like the perfect color palette yet. That's why.
mean, one thing that you can do to like bring everything together is once it's all done, you can put a gradient map on top and that will make all the colors the same. All the shadows would be purple, all the highlights could be yellow, all the midtones could be green. So that's an easy way to take a bunch of different photos and say, all right, now all be the same.
How do you do that, for example?
What's that?
The gradient you said?
Gradient map. It's an adjustment layer.
Like, do you use it like in Photoshop or Illustrator?
Photoshop. Do you want me to show you real quick?
Do I just stop sharing?
Yeah, go ahead. This will only take a second. Remember this technique? So, do I have any composites? Here, I'll just take this fish. All right, so I got this fish and got this squid. And I want everything to kind of look the same. On top of everything, it's right down here. Second from the bottom, gradient map. And I can say, all right, I want all of my shadows to be dark red. Remember we did this with the girl. And I want my highlights to be light green. And I want my midtones to be, I don't know, kind of a mustardy yellow. And that way, no matter what your photographs are, that one adjustment layer will kind of like bind them all together. So that's a gradient map. You don't have to use it. It's just sometimes that's an easy way to, if I got a bunch of images that are different color temperatures and weird lighting, it can kind of solidify everything.
I'll keep it in mind, but the most important part is that I figure out the color palette first.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right, do we have one more?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So I took an image from Unsplash of Chicago. I have it like pulled up right here. And I used the generative AI to like extend it like up top.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lowered the opacity and then I took it into Procreate and then I like traced like the image, the windows and everything. That's what I have so far. I added the title and like the tag up here. This isn't the tagline yet, it's just kind of like the date. Added to the top up here, and then I was planning to put the text on the side of the building right here. Some of it, yeah, I still need to do sketch out. I was gonna go with like a kind of like pastel, a color palette, just like something to like make it more like fun and like illustrative, I guess. Because last time I just kind of like used like a picture by itself. I used like this one of the pens to like give it kind of like a sketchy feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Or just like, more like hand drawn, I guess.
So for the final, we're not going to see the photo underneath.
No, it's all going to be like colored in and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, keep sketching, play with different line weights. I wouldn't duplicate the same window over and over. I would sketch out a few by hand differently. Because even though windows are rectangles, just having the variation in your line weight and the shape, it'll add a lot more idiosyncrasy to it. It'll look better. It won't look so like rubber stamped. So just, yeah, keep sketching. The more that you add, the better it's going to look. And when you add the type to the side, maybe you're just doing this just kind of mess around, but it's kind of like wavy. I don't know if I'd do that. It might be kind of hard to read. So if you want to do a perspective on it, that's fine. But I wouldn't do like a smear or a warp on it.
Yeah, I think I did a warp on it. I was trying to figure out how to like I could go back, but I know it's like we did it in one of the exercises. I was just gonna review that again.
Yeah. It would be distort. So it'll be set solid at first. When you hit distort, you can grab the corner points and you can pull one up, pull one down, pull one here and pull one there, as opposed to warp, which will take
Yeah.
parts in between and will kind of like smear it around. Yeah, just it's either warp or distort. I'm sorry, it's either distort or I think it's distort. You'll figure it out. I mean, there's only 3 in there, so just don't choose warp and try the other 2. But yeah, I'm glad that you're drawing it by hand. I think that's gonna look nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And then figure out
I
what you
think,
need.
like, Oh, sorry. I think there was like the only issue I was running into is like when I was trying to use Procreate, like I don't know if it was just like the pen I was using or like my Apple Pencil. Like sometimes I would like press down and it just like wouldn't like register or something.
Is it charged?
Like yeah, it's like fully charged all the way and everything, and sometimes it just like doesn't work. I don't know why.
That's annoying. Yeah, that's annoying.
Figure it out. But if I run into any more issues, I'll let you know.
If you live close to Woodfield, I think they got a Mac store in there. You can take it in and ask them what's going on.
I'm like right next to it.
Oh, yeah, just bring it in and be like, what's up? Yeah, I'll be curious to see what you do with the colors. It's a cool idea. I'm glad that you moved away from the photography. I think it's gonna have a lot more personality, but yeah, just keep drawing, it's what we call noodling, where you just keep little pieces, little bricks, little scaffolding, the underneath of the train car, all that stuff.
I can add more detail.
Yeah, yep. Just keep noodling, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Do we have one more or are we done? I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take attendance really quick. So if someone still needs to go ahead, but I want to plug this in real quick. Because if we're done, let's see, where's attendance? I don't know why I always hunt for this. All right, so let's see who's here. Sebastian Bell, Yusura. Yes. Alan, Daniela, Liv, Isabella, Darshan. Okay. Got it. Cool. All right, folks. 9:04. Attendance is in. The weekend is here. We know what needs to happen. Let's make it happen, folks. I'll check my email periodically over the weekend, but it's not going to be like every 24 hours. So if you need something, shoot me an email. Give me like 24 hours to respond. But otherwise, I think you guys need to know I think you know what needs to happen. So make it happen. Tuesday, we will start project 3. And yeah, I think that's it. Any questions? Anybody need anything? I'll stop the recording. I'll try to stop the recording.